It is really windy outside. Hey, so we've talked about this before when we did the cleats, but putting a fence on a table saw makes it a much more useful layout tool. When we put the counterbore here, counterbore is meaning that they're going to be the larger hole, the screw goes into it, and put a plug over top of. So this bit that I showed you in the drill press is our 3/8 counterbore bit that we've been using here. Okay. So when I lay that out on here, if I say I want to come a 1/2 inch in from the edge, I only have to mark that one time. So when I set this thing to, and the way you set this is, you can see my 1/2 inch marks up here. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to bring that so it just covers up that 1/2 inch mark. And that's a 1/2 inch. So if I go ahead with a sharp pencil, so I'll turn back to my sharpener here. If I go ahead with a sharp pencil and mark that 1/2 inch in, you know, it doesn't even matter where I put it on here. I can put it anywhere along this edge here. That's where I'm going to use to line up to get this right in that direction. So I have a 1/2 inch in from the edge here. It came a 1/2 inch and just drew that line. So setting that up, it's just going to be a matter of me arranging my clamp here so that my table lines up, my bit comes down right where that line is there. So I'm going to loosen this up. I'm going to bring that over, my fence over till it lines up with where I believe the bit to be, like right there. And I'll lock that. I don't even have to mark, I don't have to grab both of them. I didn't have to unlock that one, just the one, as long as it meets it in the right spot there. So let me just see if I like where that is. That looks good. Okay, that's a 1/2 inch in from the edge now. So that's adjusted. That's done. Now the other thing that we want to have is, we want to have, because this is the rail that goes onto here, right? We want to have it be that our screws hit the leg directly in the middle and not offset it at all. So 7/8 of an inch thickness is what the leg is. So 7/16 of an inch thickness is what half of that will be, right? We just took the denominator and doubled it for that, divided it by twice as much. Okay, so it's on this side here, and I want to go ahead and I want to mark in 7/16. Now, this time, two options. I can go ahead and mark it on one here and then put a little line on my fence. And then bring them all to my little line there. Or I can put a stop even and do that to all of them. And then flip the stop around and do it the other way. What I'm going to do though is because I only have 4 rails here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set this to 7/16. So I'm putting that right over the top of 7/16. And then I'm just going to go ahead and make a little line in. Bring that in. Bring that in. And I'm going to do that to each and every one of these. 7/16, little line. 7/16, little line. All right, this is not a combination square, but it might as well be because we're using the exact same one that we have been using the combination square in class. So I come in again, 7/16 from the end. 7/16 from the end. I hope that some of you are guessing that we're going to have to extend this line that I've drawn on here, but I'm just, so I don't have to measure it out each time. I measured it once on my square here, and I marked it. Now I'll take another square that I have. I'll take this square and I'll take that up to my line for each one of them. And I'll draw a line across. And everything's easiest in a vise. The board doesn't move around on this. But it can be accomplished out of the vise. Okay, so all I have is just the line on the end there, 7/16 in from the end, and I have that on all of them. So let's go back over the drill press here. And if I go down to the thickness of the head, then I've left myself a good amount left on there still. The one that I'll have to worry about was that front top, because you can see how little there is left in this. We may have to go down a little bit more shallow for this one. Glasses on. we'll make these cuts. So I'm only worried about hitting that 7/16 line and then going down my thickness. So the 1/2 inch from the edge means nothing to me right now. If I miss this 7/16 line though, it's going to be my screw plugs are at an angle, and that's going to be kind of obvious. I'm going to go right ahead and keep doing this for all of these. This is the one that was a little bit shallow, so I'm going to have to cut a little bit less of this in here. Let's see right there. Maybe you can see why I didn't cut the backside of these rabbets out yet. Because when I'm pushing down in the drill press, it's possible for that to lift up. If there's a void behind where I'm pushing down, it's easier to lift up the material. So I'd rather do these holes while I still have material down below it. These I can counterbore much more deeply because there's a lot left on them. So here it is. The holes that we have there, this backside, next time we talk, is going to be cut off here, and that's going to go ahead and get put in, pre-drilled, and assembled into the leg. Now, of course, before I do that, I'm going to have to get some much more sanding done on the legs. The exterior legs can be done after this, but the rails, I have to sand those before I go ahead and attach those.